The very first video we did, we left out some important parts, so make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back. I'm Riveroo Bay, and welcome to my gun kingdom.
What we want to talk about are the parts that were replaced in this Ruger, and we're going to discuss the old parts as well as the new parts that were put in, and let everybody see what the changes are. This is the first thing that I changed when I got my Ruger 10/22. This is the stock that came with it. It's a nice stock. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's composite, and I'm not thrilled about the feel of composite. So, and you can see that I had to add some spacers in here to get to my length of pull. And it actually still didn't get to my length of pull, but it made it much better. And I replaced that with the Woox stock, which you can see on the gun now. That's WOOX, fine company. They make beautiful wooden stocks of all different types for all different makes of weapons. This one is fully adjustable, which is what appealed to me. I can adjust the butt plate, I can adjust the cheek plate. It came with the rail so I could put a bipod on it. It's just it's a beautiful stock, and it really works well for me. The second thing I changed, and this is the original Ruger trigger housing. And if you look closely at this trigger, that's not the one that came with it. That is a trigger that's called the Victory trigger from Tandem Cross. Tandem Cross is a company that I used for a lot of my pistol changes that I made in the pistols that I own. And I like their product, so I got this trigger hoping that I could adjust it down to the level of lightness that I wanted it. It's a flat trigger, which I happen to prefer. It's just a personal choice. And unfortunately, when I took the trigger housing and the trigger to the gunsmith, he said it was not possible to adjust this trigger to below the 4.5 pounds that it came with, which led me to a different decision, which we'll get to in a little bit. This is the original barrel that came with the Ruger 10/22. It's a heavy match barrel. Nothing wrong with the barrel. It's a decent barrel. But as I will explain a little bit later, I had some concerns about accuracy and consistency. So this is another part that I eventually changed. This is the original Ruger bolt and charging handle. You can see that the charging handle is affixed to the charger, and it's a pretty easy install. Nothing wrong with this bolt again. Ruger makes fine products. The problem was that I, in my early years, was looking at a lot of videos that said the bolt makes a difference and the headspace makes a difference, and you really should improve upon what Ruger put in as standard. So this was changed. My first effort at changing that bolt came with this bolt. Very attractive bolt, looks beautiful in the gun. It's a Volquartsen bolt for the 10/22. It's the match grade bolt they make. This is the rod that goes with it. And of course there's a spring. The thing I liked about this bolt, especially when installing, it's very easy to install, and the bolt handle actually screws into the side of the bolt here, so that once you get the bolt installed, you just screw the handle in. It's a very easy setup. But I changed that bolt for a couple of reasons, and one of them was from one of the viewers that had a suggestion, and I think his suggestion was correct based on my shooting. Now I'm going to tell you the parts that I changed, and some of them are in the gun that I elected not to take out. I have in the bolt, I have the KID match bolt, scalloped in color. Because I'm on the range and I have to have my flag in, you can't really see it. This bolt is very difficult to install because it comes in two parts. The handle comes in a part. It doesn't screw in like this one does. The handle fits underneath the bolt, and you almost need 4 hands to get it in. When I changed this bolt a couple days ago, it took me almost an hour to get that kid bolt in. However, I love the kid bolt. It's machined to a tolerance. The head space is perfect for the 1022. We also have a kid 2-stage trigger. This is the original, and you can see here, it's a kid 2-stage trigger. It's a very light trigger. It's 3 ounces on the first stage and 3 ounces on the second stage. So it took me a little while to figure out how to feel that first stage giving in. Yeah, my friend here helped me do that, and eventually I got it worked out quite well. The other thing I should tell you about the kid bolt, which is interesting, the kid bolt comes with, see if I can get this off, it comes with 2 extra springs. And the spring that's in there is the one that you use for standard ammunition loads. Then there's one spring that is designed for very light ammunition loads, and there's one spring that's designed for a heavier load if you decide to shoot heavier or lighter loads. And that's a nice feature that most people like about the kid bolt, that it varies so you don't have any jams and misfeeds. The other thing I should definitely mention is the scope. This is a Vortex Viper. It's a 6-36 power, and you'll see I have the Vortex leveler on it. This helps me keep the gun level when I'm shooting, so I'm not tilting it side to side. I can just glance right above where I'm looking through the lens, and I can see that bubble in the center. That helps me keep everything level so the gun is perfectly straight when I shoot. In order to sight this in, it's very interesting. There's a hex nut here on the inside, and also here on the vertical and the horizontal changes to the scope. And you loosen those, and then in the center there's a little dial, and that dial has a raised head on it. You can turn it by hand, or they send you a tool that you can put right in that little slot and turn it. And that's what you sight it in with. What you do is you keep the outer edges of this gauge on 0 on both sides, and then you sight it in using the center caps. And once you get it perfect, you tighten up these set screws, and then you know that your gun is zeroed, both for vertical and horizontal. The focus is on the left-hand side. This is a beautiful scope, has a very fine crosshair. It also has a light. It lights up red. You can change the color of those crosshairs from black to red. And if I'm shooting a dark target, it's really nice to have the red crosshairs. When I'm shooting a red bullseye, I keep the dark crosshairs. The barrel is also a kid barrel. That's one of the last things I purchased. And this barrel is the difference between the barrel that came stock and the barrel that comes from Kid is that Kid uses a high quality steel to make the inside of their barrel, and everything is machined to a really fine point. So they guarantee half-inch groups out of the box. And I was I thought that was a joke. And when I actually had a gunsmith put the barrel on because I wasn't comfortable that I could get the ejection port right where it belonged. So once the barrel was on and I brought it out to shoot it the first time I shot it, I had those half-inch groups. It just amazed me how well it shot, and there were a lot less flyers than I got with the standard Ruger barrel. So this is pretty much the setup. The other thing I added was the Accutac bipod. Now this bipod is heavy duty. It's actually made for a gun heavier than the 1022, but I bought it because it is so darn sturdy, and it really keeps this weapon steady when I'm shooting. I tried several other things. I tried a Caldwell sort of shooting bench, but I could never get used to it. This bipod I got used to almost immediately, and then in the back I brace it with 2 different sandbags that I can change the up and down to by just squeezing the bags gently and holding them steady. Finally, although this isn't part of the gun, this is my high capacity magazine case, and I found this online because I was coming out and I was using the Ruger standard magazines that holds 10, and I was practicing so much that I was shooting way more than 10, and I spent a good portion of my time reloading these magazines. And then I found this unit online, and this all came as one. See if I can get this out for you. So this is actually the magazine, and you can load 25 into this magazine, and then on the outside you'll see there's a little slot here, and that slot fits one of these clips. And the way you load this clip is interesting because let me get this organized here so you can see it. This box, you can see it holds, there's slots that hold the ammunition. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's 20 rounds in each one of those slots. And in order to reload this magazine, you open up this box, push this up so it's above the box level. There's a pin on the side of this clip that keeps the ammunition from falling out when you hold the clip upside down. So in order to load it, you push that clip down and slide this over the top. Here we go. When they're loaded just like this, you tilt them in this direction to put them into the magazine that's there, and you have 20 rounds that you can shoot at a time versus having to reload 10. And this just closes right back up and goes into this slot. And if the viewers have any questions about any of these parts, we'll be happy to respond to them. Please feel free to communicate with us, and we'll go from there. And now we're going to do a little shooting. Bottom right square. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I think it helped the accuracy. It's all those shots are in the size of a dime. It's shooting well. The only thing I can figure is with that low score that I had in that last match where I used it, is that guy did shoot my target a couple of times and it took me to 0 on those targets that he hit. But it's shooting great.